Welcome to the very first episode of Swiss Moneytech. Today we dive into a big question. How are digital banks redefining the future of money?
When was the last time you actually visited a bank branch? For many of us, it's been months, maybe even years. That's because digital banks, or neobanks, are changing the way we think about money. Companies like Revolut, N26, and Monzo are leading this shift, promising faster services, lower fees, and a fully digital experience. But how do they really compare to traditional banks? On one side, you have the legacy institutions with decades of trust, physical branches, and strong regulation. On the other, you have lean and innovative challengers, built on technology, offering slick mobile apps and real-time services at a fraction of the cost. Now, let's talk about business models. Unlike traditional banks that earn from loans and deposits, digital banks rely on things like foreign exchange fees, premium subscriptions, interchange fees when you pay with your card, and increasingly lending. Still, profitability is a challenge, and many neobanks are struggling to prove they can survive long-term. There are success stories, especially in Europe, where digital banks have gained millions of customers and even expanded internationally. But there are also big challenges: stricter regulation, compliance costs, and perhaps the hardest part, winning customer trust at scale. And what about Switzerland? Known worldwide for banking, it's now facing its own digital revolution. Swiss fintech startups are experimenting while traditional banks are also beginning to adapt, blending tradition with innovation. This makes Switzerland a fascinating testing ground for the future of finance. Now, before we start, I have a favor to ask. A lot of you are not subscribed yet. It only takes a click, so why not join our growing community of finance and texts enthusiasts? You will get a notification every time we publish a new video. So here in Switzerland, we're used to a very different banking landscape. We have some of the biggest banks in the world right here in Zurich. UBS, Credit Suisse, Julius Baer, just to name a few. Of course, there are also digital banks. One example is Swissquote, which is a bank I've been working with for over 10 years. They were early in adopting digital solutions, but in order to stay competitive, they've had to constantly evolve. Recently, they launched a robo-advisor called Scalable Capital, aiming to break into the wealth management market. But what does the future hold? Will we see a day when digital banks completely replace traditional ones? Well, maybe for some use cases. But I think there will always be a need for personalized advice, especially in areas like wealth management, which is a key part of Swiss culture. What we need is a blend of the best from both worlds. Technology for efficiency, regulation for security, and human expertise for guidance. Just like my video on artificial intelligence, the winners will be those who embrace change and those who can combine the power of humans and machines. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you still rely on your traditional bank, or have you already made the switch to digital banking? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and consider sharing it with your friends. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.